Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the Warrensdale Mystery by Penalty of Death Productions. This was recommended to me from someone who works on their team. The guy's name is Chris. He seems like a cool dude from the emails we've been exchanging and shit, talking about it, whatnot. He commented on my Reddit video asking if I had an email that, you know, that he could send something to a submission. And it's funny because I didn't have one. I didn't have one at the time, so I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, all right, I got to go make one. So I made one, and, you know, here it is on the screen. If anybody has any, you know, things you want to send me, you know, submissions you want me to react or talk about or something, I'd hugely appreciate it because, I'll be honest, coming up with stuff on your own is kind of hard. Help is always appreciated. But anyway, yeah, the Warrensdale Mystery, it's a, as they put it, it's a mockumentary, like a fake documentary about three friends who go disappearing on, like, you know, their holiday vacation up to a cabin. And then all of a sudden, you know, this other part comes into the story, and then it's like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? Because there's a fourth party. You'll see when we watch it. But it's really well acted, you know, the editing and stuff. Everybody who was a part of it, the team, you guys did a great fucking job, man, honestly. You'll see when I watch it, or everybody will. There's times where I kind of fell into like a mind trap where I'm thinking this is real. Because they'll be talking about certain things, and I'm like, what about this? What about that? And then I'm like, no, I gotta pull myself out of it. I'm like, no, it's not real. It's not real. It's fake. But yeah, definitely, guys, you know, the link will be in the description for their channel, for the video. You know, if you guys want to check it out, you definitely should, because these motherfuckers are putting in work. And also, there's a sequel in the works, too, coming out. Because the way it ends, I ain't gonna say anything, but holy shit, that threw me for a fucking loop, man. I ain't even gonna lie. It was a great ending, though, by the way. Great ending. But yeah, honestly, great documentary all around. Guys did a fantastic job. I hope you all enjoyed who are going to watch it, because right now, well, within the next couple seconds, you're going to see a live reaction. But till then, thank you all so much for watching, stopping by, taking a seat. Hope you're having a great day, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I just hope you're enjoying yourself and not hurting yourself or anybody else. Let's go. All right, Warrensdale Mystery, baby. Here we go. Let's solve this shit. December 26, 2009, 11 a.m. 2009? I was 13. Okay. What up, eyebrow? Ring?
I just finished packing. I'm tired, but I'm excited as all fuck.
Hell yeah, brother.
This 2 weeks is gonna be great. I'm so ready to get this fucking year over with. 2010, here I fucking come.
Oh my god, 2010, Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be fucking magical. We're talking 2 weeks at the cabin, nothing but Xbox, fishing, maybe a few bonfires. Yeah,
that just sounds like every camping trip I've ever been on. That was a great time.
Oh, son of a bitch. I live for this shit every fucking year ever since we started doing it. I wonder if Troy's already up there.
Probably.
I don't know. I know Omar. I think Omar's got to work till 6 or some shit. Then he says he's gonna come right after, so he's gonna be up there later tonight, which is fine. Whatever. It gives me time to fucking sleep. Let me stop rambling and let me get on the fucking road. It's about a fucking 4 hour drive. So
rip.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, buddy, let's go.
Later. Gonna be great.
Yeah, dude. Oh, shit. Penalty of Death Pictures presents. Oh, shit. Opening credits, baby. Here we go. Rusty Pink? Whoa. Oh, I like the music. Ali Touraine. Okay. Anthony Serrano. I'm excited for this, man. I really am. Sean Shillingford. I don't know why that took me a minute. My I's and the L's kind of blended together. Nikki I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I'll probably fuck it up. Elijah Davis. Alright, so far, dude in the beginning, homie's all excited because he's going to the cabin 2 weeks with his homies. Gonna play some box, gonna fish. Probably get fucked up too. Do some fucked up shit. The Warrensdale mystery. Hopefully the audio is good for you guys.
Our strange odyssey begins on the night of December 26, 2009, at a remote lakefront property, nestled in the woods about 15 miles west of the town of Warrensdale, Pennsylvania. The property is a modest cabin with a scenic overview of a small lake. On this particular night, the cabin is occupied by 33-year-old Damien De La Vega and 36-year-old Troy Oliver Knight.
All right, Damien and
The
Troy.
two men are spending their winter holiday in the cabin they co-rent with another man, 31-year-old Omar De La Vega, who also happens to be Damien's first cousin.
6 sunglasses, bro.
The three men have rented this quaint little timeshare for the past 4 years or so and have regularly made this their winter retreat for Christmas and New Year's since the latter part of 2005. To fully grasp the mysterious events that will transpire at the lakefront cabin, we first need to gain some understanding of who these men were.
Okay.
Before they were tossed into these seemingly inexplicable circumstances, Damien, Omar, and Troy all led unique lives before they would forge their tight-knit friendship. First, we have Troy Knight, who was born August 6, 1973.
The boy Troy.
In one of the more impoverished areas of Philadelphia,
that should be a lot better.
Troy's father, Gavin Knight, was a high-ranking member of the South End Philly Crips, but luckily Troy's grandmother, Loretta, immediately stepped in and sought to get her infant grandson away from her son's violent lifestyle.
She said, fuck that.
Not wishing young Troy to be raised around what she deemed as a criminal way of living. What followed was a lengthy legal battle with Gavin to gain sole custody of Troy. She was ultimately successful and brought her grandson to the south end of Georgia, where the two would live a peaceful and unassuming life for the next 17 years.
Is that kid walking?
I know him since the sandbox.
What the hell was up with that kid's legs, dude?
The next 17 years.
What the hell is that? What the fuck? I'm not trying to rip it apart or anything, but that just really freaked me out. Like, what the fuck? And also, is this kid walking backwards? Anyway.
Peaceful and unassuming life for the next 17 years.
I know him since the sandbox. We was young.
PJ.
Both went to school, raised together.
Yo, is that VSOP, bro? Oh, shit. They playing that Xbox?
Gavin would never get the chance to meet his oldest son, but would go on to father 3 more children, including his second son after Troy, Derek Knight. Sadly, Loretta passed away in 1989 of heart disease, leaving a teenage Troy with no one to look after him.
Damn.
Ultimately, young Troy moved back to Philadelphia to live with an aunt on his mother's side. It was here that Troy learned of his father's death 3 years prior, the result of a drug overdose. Here he also met with his younger brother Derek, who had followed right in his father's footsteps and decided to indulge in the gangbanging lifestyle. The two would have a rocky relationship for the next several years, as Troy wanted no part of his brother's seemingly questionable life path.
I mean, who would, to be honest?
Me and my brother grew up very differently. Having different moms and everything, you know.
Derek
we had
Knight.
that whole leave it to beaver shit going on, and I chose a different path in life. You know, I did some things I'm not particularly proud of.
Hey, man,
I
everybody
get
does.
into all of that, but you know, overall, you know, I didn't know Troy until later on in life.
This guy seems like a
we
good
didn't
dude.
see eye to eye a lot. But you know what? Looking back now, I think Troy was right about a lot. Troy always had like the little determination to him. Like,
He's got
he was
that
gonna do
insight,
shit.
bro.
And I respected that. You know, I did. So, you know, overall, Troy was a good dude.
Seems like it, man. Seems like a really cool guy to hang out with.
The two would have a rocky relationship for the next several years as Troy wanted no part of his brother's seemingly questionable life path. Due to his good upbringing by his grandmother, Troy was determined to make something of himself. He was a straight-A student and graduated near the top of his class.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh, that's fucking... Dude, holy shit. I would have killed to been a straight-A student. I wasn't... I mean, like, I'm not smart, but I'm not stupid. Like, I know stuff, but damn, dude. Straight A, that's something I always wanted to fucking be as a kid. But, never happened. Anyway.
And graduated near the top of his class. He also harbored aspirations of working on Wall Street.
True, man. Like some fucking good money there, bro.
Both Damien and Omar De La Vega didn't have it much easier than Troy and suffered heart-wrenching childhoods of their own. Damien Alejandro De La Vega was born April 15, 1960.
Wait a minute.
Their own. Much easier.
So that guy on the right is supposed to be Damien.
Than Troy and suffered heart-wrenching childhoods of their own. Damien Alejandro De La
I don't know why, he just looked different to me. Anyway.
Vega was born April 15, 1976, with Omar following only 2 years later in February of 1978.
February, baby!
When Damien was only 3 years old, his teenage parents, Julio and Maria, were killed in a bus wreck near Salinas, Puerto Rico.
Oh my god.
As such, Damien was then sent to live with his father's brother, Carlos De La Vega, in Brooklyn, New York. Damien's uncle Carlos was a violent drunk who took every opportunity to beat on his family whenever he could.
Oh, what a piece of shit. Fuck
For the next several years, Damien grew up in a broken and extremely dysfunctional home. Damien's only comfort was his younger cousin Omar, and the two boys formed a very deep friendship and would come to see each other as almost brothers. Sadly, tragedy would tear the cousins apart when one night Carlos returned home in a drunken rage and savagely murdered his young wife Delia.
Whoa, what the fuck? Holy shit. I was not expecting that. Wow. Damn, man. Just came home drunk. He's like, yeah, fuck you. You look at me weird, bitch, you're dead. Whoa. Man, this shit's juicy.
Vega was sentenced to life behind bars, and the two
as he
young
should
boys
be.
would
Fuck that
bounce between
asshole.
Foster homes throughout New Jersey, New York, and Delaware.
Is that a Cracker Barrel?
Carlos De La Vega eventually died in prison when he was killed by two rival inmates in the winter of 1992.
Fuck him.
The two cousins would diverge on very different paths as Damien went on to join the Air Force and Omar would try to pursue a career in the music industry as a hip-hop vocalist and dancer.
Nice.
Damien served 6 years in the military until he was honorably discharged in 2002 at the age of 26. Lacking any clear guidance or plan after he got out of the military, Damien De La Vega drifted for a few months trying to find stability, eventually landing in a rundown tenement in Jacksonville, Florida.
I will say, too, I like the narrator's voice. It's soothing, but it's not too, I can't think of the word. Not distinct or anything. But it's just really, like, smooth and just, like, mellow. It's cool. I like it.
By pure happenstance, he runs into his long-lost cousin Omar at a bus stop in downtown Jacksonville.
Yo, Omar, what's goody?
Omar had been traveling with a small group of up-and-coming hip-hop artists trying to make it big in the business. The two were joyously reunited, and Damien happily uprooted his living arrangements to travel with Omar and the rest of his group. Unfortunately, the group's time together would only last another few months. After traveling to Orlando, the troupe disbanded after citing creative differences. Feeling despondent, the two cousins hitchhiked out of town and wound up living in a dilapidated trailer park community outside Lafayette, Louisiana. After only a few weeks, the pair would finally taste some good luck as Damien managed to snag a job at a local General Electric plant.
Hell yeah, nice.
He managed to pull in just enough money to support the two, at least for a little while. About 4 months in, and Damien would be transferred to a GE facility in southern New Jersey, and naturally brought his cousin Omar with him.
I love, sorry I keep pausing, but I love the whole East Coast thing that's going on here, because I live on the East Coast. I'm from New Jersey. I don't know, just hearing it makes me happy. Leave me alone.
The two streak of good luck would continue, as only a short time later, Omar scored a position at GE as well.
Yo!
Over time, the two became financially stable enough to get their own respective places and live relatively comfortably. It's at this point that our three up-and-comers would cross paths. You see, Troy had been living in southern New Jersey for the past 5 years at this point, and through an entry-level position, worked his way up to one of the main plant.
Omar just looks like he doesn't want to be there. He's like, I want to go home. I don't know these people. Please help me.
Managers at this particular GE facility. In what seemed like no time at all, the trio became very fast friends.
Hell yeah.
The three would become so close that nearly all their free time would be spent with each other. Before too long, the three men decided to rent a scenic timeshare in northern Pennsylvania that they would use as their yearly winter getaway.
Oh, okay.
It's at this point that we arrive on the night of December 26, 2009.
I do like the whole backstory thing. That was done really well, and actually within a pretty short amount of time, which is always nice. I mean, like, long drawn out backstories are like cool because I guess you can get really in depth, but the way it was kind of just quick bing bang, kind of bing bang boom. Good stuff.
Now, it was customary for all three men to spend both Christmas and New Year's together at the cabin. However, this year would be slightly different.
He might have said something in passing about like what he was finna do for the rest of December, but I mean, I really don't remember.
Oh, the last time I seen him, you asked me. Matter of fact, last time I seen him, he was talking about going out to some camp or some shit.
But he's going to some camp
then,
or some
I ain't
shit.
seen him in a while. Before that, I had moved out of state and came back, so.
This is a sick windbreaker, homie.
It's unknown what the three men did on Christmas Day, but they apparently made plans to meet up at the cabin on the 26th and vacation there through New Year's of 2010. Investigators would later confirm this detail due to a small note left in Troy's day planner discovered at his residence. The last substantial sighting of any of the three men was of Omar De La Vega as he clocked out of work at precisely 6 p.m. on the night of the 26th, after which police assume he headed straight for the cabin some 4 hours away.
Yes, it was confirmed conclusively that the last time that any of the three of them was seen was when Omar De La Vega clocked out at precisely 6 p.m. on December 26th.
Oh, yeah, because, everybody else, I think, was already there, and Omar was going to arrive late.
After that, it's pure speculation.
Yeah, Damien's like, oh, it gives me time to sleep, yada, yada.
Exactly what happens after Omar leaves work can only be speculated upon, as indeed the events of the next 9 days at that remote little cabin will probably never be fully known.
Jesus Christ. That sounds fucking scary.
Fast forward to the morning of January 4th, 2010. Murder. The Pruitt family, consisting of husband Dennis, wife Martha, and 17-year-old daughter Dakota, merrily make their way up to the isolated cabin and begin their stint of vacation in the place they timeshare with the three men amongst other renters.
My family have been vacationing in Warrensdale every winter since I was 10.
Dakota Pruitt.
That cabin was built in the late 80s, I think, and we've been using it as a timeshare every January. My memories of
Holy
this
early
point
2000s,
were
Batman.
nothing but happy. In fact, I looked forward to it every year.
Hell
We
yeah.
would spend Christmas and New Year's in New York, then packing on up and head to the hills of Pennsylvania for 2 weeks. It was always a fun time.
That sounds kick-ass. New York and then fucking you go to a cabin. Let's
As
go.
they pull up to the dirt path that leads to the cabin, the family is surprised to find 3 cars parked outside. Now, the arrangement the timeshare owners have with one another is the previous occupants have to be vacated at least 1 day before the next arrivals are due to show up. The Pruitts find that the front door is left ajar and the family is cautious upon entering. They call out several times to see if anyone is home but are only met with an eerie silence.
It was just a few days into the new year, and we were headed down to Warrensdale like we did every year. Everyone was excited. We pulled up to the cabin, and we immediately noticed that there were still cars parked out in front.
That is
which we
pretty
thought was
weird.
Kind of strange, since the people that had been staying there before had to be out at least a day before.
Eat.
I remember feeling very unnerved. When we got up to the front door, something just didn't feel right about the whole thing.
It's a cool drone
The
shot.
married
I
couple
like
and
that.
their daughter slowly make their way through the house, their sense of trepidation and uneasiness rising with every step. They search the cabin but find no sign of the 3 bachelors. However, all their belongings, including wallets, keys, and clothing, all still remained to be present. The Pruitts would later give a statement to police that the cabin was left in a state of, quote, mid-habitation. It was as if the three men had been there 1 minute and gone the next.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't all like messed up.
The thing about it was, the front door was slightly open, which my mom freaked out about. So much so that she was holding my arm as we went through the cabin. We didn't find anything. We slowly made our way through the cabin. We yelled out if anyone was there, but nothing.
No clothes, no
it
nothing?
It looked like someone had been there. One of the TVs was flickering. A lot of the lights were still on. I mean, we didn't see signs of like a struggle or anything, but it definitely looked like someone had been there just a short time before and had maybe left in a hurry.
That's fucking weird. The fuck?
There are no signs of a struggle except for the open front door and a back window which was left unlatched. There was food on the table, the television was on, and even an Xbox gaming console left running.
You're gonna get red ring of death.
Extremely unnerving, the family decided to alert police, who responded to the scene about 20 minutes later. When authorities comb the premises, they will subsequently find a series of bizarre and frightening clues that will only present more questions than answers.
Going into this case, I thought it was going to be basically open and shut. No big deal. These were just three guys that we had that were going on some sort of drunk bender over the weekend. Probably got lost in the woods somewhere.
We've all had those.
There was nothing really particularly off in any, usual sense. But as we began to process the scene...
Is that where they were sleeping? What the fuck?
With some irregularities, yes.
Fuck that, man. I'd be pissed. I'm gonna sleep in a fucking goddamn diagonal corner in a fucking slanted roof. What the hell? Fuck that, man. I'm sleeping on the floor. I'll sleep on the first floor. Fuck this shit.
Well, for starters, I found out that Omar, Damien, and Troy left behind their phones, their keys, their cars, anything that any normal person would take with them on some sort of trip.
Okay, well that's already.
And then as we processed the scene further, we found out that there was a bloody knife. In the backyard.
What?
One of the more disturbing items found by police is a kitchen knife smeared with blood in the backyard. Now, initially, this pointed investigators believed that some kind of violent altercation had taken place and that foul play may have been involved with the three disappearances. However, later forensic testing would reveal that the blood on the knife was indeed that of an animal.
Oh, I was going to say,
the results of the forensic testing were that the blood that was found on the knife actually came from a red deer, i.e. it was not
a red deer
blood.
The knife itself seemed to be of a set owned by one of the three men, but curiously the handle was devoid of any fingerprints. In one of the rooms, a smiley face drawn in crayon was found etched on a mirror with the words "To Dawn" scribbled underneath.
What the fuck?
Finally, a short video clip was found on Damien's phone, which seems to show the 33-year-old making odd gestures with the very same knife the police had found in the backyard.
Odd gestures with the knife?
There was some smiley face graffiti found on a mirror. And a very...
What the fuck? Oh, that's the video.
Disturbing video found on Damien's phone. He appeared to be in some sort of trance. Possibly under the...
Somebody just go up and just like smack, like hit the knife and just so like it cuts his fucking cheeks and shit.
Influence of drugs or some sort of hallucinogen. And he had a knife in his mouth. It was
whoa,
disturbing.
What? There's blood on the side,
to say the least.
Well, as you can imagine, the three of us were pretty creeped out. I mean, all the cars were still parked out in front, but there's no sign of these three dudes. My dad got on the phone and called the cops. We didn't really know what else to do.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Foul play was something that was considered.
What I would do, at least. Like,
but
hey.
at the same time, we didn't have
shit.
any bodies. We didn't actually have any evidence of a crime, so this appeared to still be a missing persons case, but we remained open to all possibilities at the time, yes. Cold activity was considered as a possibility. It was an avenue that we pursued, but it wasn't something that we were able to prove conclusively. But neither could we rule it out. So we reached out. We discovered that both Omar and Damien had no other relatives, and Troy Knight had a younger brother, Derek.
Yes.
And it was a lot of work trying to get in contact with Derek.
Oh, wow, really? Why? Maybe
it's at this point where the mystery deepens. It was later discovered by police that none of the three men had been reported as missing when authorities attempted to contact the trio's relatives. Curiously, only one could be found. Troy's younger brother, Derek, who had been staying with Troy on and off for the last several months, reports that he had not seen or been in contact with his brother since mid-December, some 2 weeks before Troy would allegedly leave for his trip. As mentioned before, the two weren't close. Derek further commented that he had been in Texas since December 12th visiting an old girlfriend and didn't arrive back in New Jersey till about the 29th of the same month.
I was at Troy's spot for a couple of months, but I was in and out of there all the time. So I was
Derek.
with
He
my
did it
homegirl in Texas, so I really didn't even know the whole situation as it was happening. I think it was maybe like late January 2010, and a detective called my phone. Apparently, they had been trying to track me down for a little while to tell me that my brother had, he was missing. Where I was like, what you mean my brother's missing? It didn't hit me. It didn't really hit me.
It is kind of
time,
something I can
like,
kind of understand that. It's like when you hear that you're on the. It's never happened to me, but I can kind of understand where he's coming from because it's like you get a fucking phone call. Oh, your brother's missing. What? What are you talking about? It's like what? Yeah, like he's like what do you mean he's missing? It's like what the fuck? It doesn't hit you right away. Then it's like oh wait a minute. Oh geez, this is bad.
Like time went on, it was like oh wow this is some shit.
The hell? Oh, that was okay.
The gang angle was something that was investigated, but since this is an ongoing investigation, I can't really comment.
I was going to say you can't talk about it.
Derek is not considered a suspect in his brother's disappearance, as his whereabouts can be corroborated by several different sources. Derek would go on to say that it wasn't at all unusual for him and his brother to stay out of contact for long stretches. Damien and Omar had no other family to speak of besides each other.
Yeah, they just had themselves.
The police then honed in on the trio's workplace and proceeded to question the plant's some 500 plus employees. All indications seems to point that nothing seemed to be amiss with the three men in the days leading up to their disappearance. All appeared to be in good spirits and in fact were excited about their annual trip up to the cabin.
And that's like the creepiest. That's one of the creepiest
After the
parts,
cabin
man.
had been processed, we
like,
looked
what happened?
more into these three men's backgrounds, and we found out that they all worked at the same electric plant. So we immediately made a beeline.
GE, baby.
Extensively questioned hundreds of employees at the plant, and we found that these were just three normal, typical guys. Came in, did their job, didn't cause problems, and they enjoyed these outings periodically.
I knew Troy for about 5 years before the incident had occurred. The other guys, they came on
Jorge.
about a year and a half after he did. So I'd say about 3.5 years for those guys. No trouble at all. They're good hard workers. They really kept to themselves, and they seem to have great camaraderie with each other. Out of all the complaints we ever got, none of them were about the three guys.
Nothing unusual at all to speak of was found at the plant. No.
Good workers,
My
bro.
parents and I were taken down to the station and were interrogated for hours. As a 17-year-old girl at the time, having never seen the inside of a police station before, the whole situation was pretty scary.
The Pruitts
I love her
were
eyes,
questioned
man.
extensively and investigated, but based upon everything that we came across at the time, we can neither confirm nor deny their involvement. So at this time, they are not being actively considered as suspects in this case.
I wish that had been the end of it. When we were being questioned, the cops flat out told us that they had no reason to think that we had anything to do with why these two guys went missing. But as time went on, it became clear to us that we were being looked at as potential suspects.
Yeah, the cops questioned me a few times actually, and I told them everything I knew, which at that time I didn't really know much, but you know, I tried to help however I could. You know, I ran off the missing person posters and all of that. You know, they I mean, you know, they say that you don't really appreciate somebody until they ain't here no more. So you know, it hit me kind of hard. You know.
It was also learned that all three had scheduled extensive vacations through December and into January. Both Damien and Troy had scheduled to be away from work from Christmas Eve through January 7th. Omar had scheduled his vacation from December 27th through January 10th.
I didn't really get into Troy's life like that, you know. So I didn't really know who we hung out with or, you know, what they really did. So I never met them other two cats. I really couldn't tell you much about them.
So here we have three men who have seemingly vanished off the face of the earth, and for over 9 days, no one even knows they're missing. Throughout the subsequent months, exhaustive efforts were mounted to try and locate the missing trio, but leads quickly ran dry, and the case inevitably stalled.
What if they found like a staircase in the woods and went up it?
Sometimes I put thought into that. I think that maybe the person that got him to go out there with him probably, like, I don't know, like, it's just like, it's so many things that could have happened to him.
Oh,
first of all, like, you going outside of,
he's saying
like,
Damien or Omar did it.
Just somewhere you never been. And
shit.
Just the world is crazy right now.
Facts.
However, the perplexing odyssey of the Warrensdale disappearances, as the case would come to be officially called, was far from over, and the preceding years would see the investigation take so many twists and turns, detectives working the case would come to refer to it as the maze.
After that, nothing for close to a year. The leads dried up. We basically felt like we had hit a dead end.
Damn. Well,
and we
not much to really go on, to be honest.
The, dead body.
What? Wait, what?
Discovered the dead body.
Whoa! Whoa! Holy shit, here we go.
The first and most significant of these curveballs would come almost exactly 1 year to the day of the reported disappearances.
Curveball, that shit went around the whole goddamn ballpark and then came back. Jeez.
On December 28, 2010, a gruesome discovery was made on the Warrensdale property. A partially decayed body was found buried in a shallow grave in the backyard by a team of land surveyors. An autopsy was performed on the cadaver, and rumors began to spread that the dead individual was one of the three missing men.
No, what?
The coroner determined that the body had only been there for about a week at best, but the exact nature of death could not be determined. However, authorities strongly suspected that this was indeed a case of homicide.
That's a good insight to go on.
Call the John Jane angle in this case a curveball would be the understatement of the decade.
Yeah, curveball my ass.
The investigation shifted from a missing persons case to a possible murder investigation.
It's a homicide, bruh.
None of these pieces fit together. They didn't make sense.
When the body was finally identified, police were shocked to learn that he was not one of the three missing bachelors.
Oh, shit.
The deceased individual was identified as a 41-year-old man by the name of John Andrew.
That dude's 41. I was going to say like 36, 35, whatever.
Jane, a man who had been reported missing some 12 years prior in late 1998.
Whoa!
Detectives were at a loss to explain how he ended up dead and buried on the lakefront property, and if he had any link to the three missing men.
12 fucking years, Jesus.
That threw me for a loop, because the detective hit me up and said, like, you know, we found a body. And the first thing I'm thinking is, like, please don't be my brother. But then he contacts me again and says, you know, it's a white guy. So, you know, of course, obviously it wasn't my brother. But, you know, I felt relieved, but I didn't know what to make of it.
Makes sense.
Almost immediately, it felt like we were getting calls from everyone and his mother saying that they had the identity of this body that we had found, which was something that we were hopeful for a while. But then the results came back. We found out this person was none of these three men.
Is this guy like part Irish?
So now we were really, truly baffled. I had never heard the name John Jane before in my life. Didn't have any idea how he could be tied into this investigation, if he was even involved in this investigation. He was so far off my radar until he showed up in the morgue.
That's fucking what the fuck?
And where he was located. It was
So there's either a serial killer going on
interesting
in them
to say the
woods,
least.
or a
An
cryptid of
extensive
sorts.
background check was carried out by the FBI, but there wasn't a shred of evidence that indicated that Jane knew any of the three missing individuals, or that his own mysterious death was in any way connected to Damien.
Well, I said he was
Omar,
what,
or
12
Troy.
years missing? Wouldn't think he'd be affiliated. I don't know.
So what was to be made of this new yet baffling piece of evidence that just seemed to drop onto detectives' desks from out of nowhere? Well, before we can answer that, perhaps it's pertinent that we look at the man himself. So just who was John Jane anyway?
Oh. I'm like, look at him, he's dead.
John Jane essentially, I would say, was a cautionary tale.
John Andrew Jane was born September 4th, 1969 in the rural
Tennessee?
suburbs of Springdale, Arkansas. John was the eldest of 4 siblings, which included himself and his 3 younger sisters, Ainsley, Cindy, and Cassandra. John was described as a painfully shy child growing up and had a great deal of difficulty making friends at school.
Same, bro.
He developed an acute degree of anxiety and depression in his teenage years as a result of his social awkwardness.
Damn. Same, bro.
John was very
Whoa.
complex. He wasn't much of a talker.
Ainsley.
He had this happy-go-lucky side of him. But I can tell he struggled with a lot of pain. Inner demons is what a lot of people call it. I wouldn't say we were inseparable or anything.
Who got this footage of me, son of a bitch?
I definitely looked up to him. I trusted him a lot. He seemed to be the only person who really understood what I was all about. Whether or not that's a 15-year-old girl idolizing her big brother, who knows?
Uh-oh. I was like,
But
what the fuck you
he
say?
definitely was something special, despite all of his issues.
They had a really deep connection. He seemed like a
His
really
loneliness
genuine
eventually
guy.
led him down a dangerous path as he began to spiral down into substance abuse while he started to attend college. By the time of his sophomore year, he had already been addicted to several hard drugs, including crystal meth and heroin.
Oh, that's what he was snorting. I thought it was coke.
Poor choices in his
What
early
the
life,
hell?
as many do. Went down the road of drugs and similar activities.
Substance abuse.
This led him to being kicked out of university midway through his second year. During the course of the next decade or so, he subsequently bounced from 5 different recovery and rehab facilities and programs, making little progress in his battle against his addictions. By the early winter of 1998, he was staying in a small apartment with his youngest sister Ainsley, who was only 15 at the time.
Ainsley.
For the next several months, Jane would drag his little sister into a dark world of drug addiction and alcohol abuse.
Oh, man. Don't bring her down with you. One of the reasons why I'm thankful for my brother, because he just tells me when I'm being a fucking annoying piece of shit. And I'm like, okay, I'm learning. I've learned from this.
I wasted my life. All my time on Earth, and I've done this. Just put poison in my body. And it inflicted the same disease on my sister. Ainsley I am so sorry.
And this is the same guy that was in the photos? This guy looks totally different.
At least when
That's crazy.
Dante went to hell, he only took himself.
It's addicts, man. Shit changes you. Oh,
I
Dante's
can't do
Inferno.
anything right.
Or Divine Comedy.
Nothing. I am nothing but a disease on people,
You just gotta get help, man.
and that's
I know it's hard,
all
but
I
you know,
am.
you gotta believe that you want it. Then
And
you can
all
do
I
it.
ever will be.
And that's actually kind of sad.
After a while, he
Jesus.
ended up moving in to a small apartment with his younger sister in southern Arkansas.
Ainsley.
And then he promptly disappeared one night, not to be seen or heard from again.
So
over a
deuces, Las Cruces. I'm out of here.
On the night of November 19, 1998, Ainsley reported that her and her brother were spending the night at home. John was apparently in his room asleep while Ainsley sat in the living room with her boyfriend watching television until the early morning hours.
What were they watching?
It was just a normal night. Nothing unusual. We were both at home. I was in the living room with my boyfriend watching TV, and John was in his room. It was a little after 1 a.m. in the morning, and I went to the bathroom. And I walked down the hall, and I looked in his room, and he wasn't in there. I didn't think much of it because John would usually go out and score something.
Oh, all right, never mind.
I wasn't really worried.
I was gonna say, what do you mean you weren't fucking worried?
At about
but
2:30 a.m., Ainsley went to use the bathroom and passed by John's room. She noticed that the door was wide open and out of curiosity popped her head in only to find that John wasn't there. Not immediately alarmed, she reasons that he must have stepped out for some reason or another. Oddly, her boyfriend claimed to be wide awake the entire time and did not notice anyone entering or leaving the apartment.
Whoa.
However, his credibility would come into severe question as authorities learned that he was known to be snorting cocaine at the time.
I was out of it. He thought he might have been up the whole time, but in actuality, he was up doing lines all night. Not too
Jesus.
much of a reliable source.
As the
I
days
laughed at that.
passed, Ainsley became increasingly worried since John was nowhere to be found, and after a week, she reports him missing with Arkansas police.
I hadn't heard from him. I mean, John would normally go on benders, but it would only be like 1 or 2 days maximum. He would normally come home. This time he didn't. The police said that he was just some hitchhiker catching some ride to Cali or something. I don't know. They said that he would call me within a few weeks or a few months, but that never happened. Quite frankly, the police should have did their fucking job.
Yeah, they fucking
An
should have.
extensive investigation
And they're like,
was
nah,
carried out,
he'll
but
call
no
you.
solid leads could ever be
You're good.
found.
Don't worry about it.
John Jane would remain
Bruh.
just another cold missing persons case for the next 12 years.
Jesus
It
fucking
was simply
hell,
assumed that Jane had stepped out the night of the 19th to secure more drugs from one of his many suppliers. Some kind of altercation occurred and Jane was probably killed, his body dumped in some remote location, speculated police. That is until over a decade later when his body is discovered some 1,100 miles from Arkansas.
Whoa.
As mentioned before,
Yeah.
the how, why,
Jesus.
and under what circumstances he came to be buried under the Warrensdale property has investigators stumped.
Hmm.
If someone could explain to me how this one man simply vanishes in the middle of the night in 1998, I believe.
He found some stairs in the woods.
Disappears for
Walked up
well
that
over
shit.
a decade, only to be discovered dead in a remote cabin 1,000 miles away. The pieces don't fit.
Yeah, it really doesn't make fucking sense. Like,
Of course,
how
there was
the
bias in
hell?
John's case. Just because somebody has a substance issue doesn't mean that they deserve to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Not knowing where John was for 12 years, at least we had some answers. But when the details started to come out about where John was and how he disappeared, things just, they didn't add up.
There was no indication whatsoever that the three men and Mr. Jane know each other. The only thing that connected them was that cabin.
I have no idea what John did or knew in Pennsylvania. To my knowledge, he had never been in Pennsylvania. He didn't know any.
They're all part of a cult, or at least Damien and Omar were. Troy just got roped into it, and they killed fucking John Jane fucking years ago and put him there. I don't know. I'm rambling. I just had a funny thought. It's a cult. Everybody's in on it.
Anybody in Pennsylvania? I have no idea. I had no idea about the history of that property or the three missing men. I've never heard of them. I've never seen them. The circumstances just didn't add up.
Yeah, no, it doesn't
John
make fucking sense.
Was alive for 12 years? Doing what? Why didn't he contact anybody?
Alive.
She's just so fucked up.
I agree.
Interestingly enough, not more than a month after the discovery of John Jane's body, this bizarre case would once again be reinvigorated by a slew of eyewitness sightings of one of the missing men.
Yeah, Troy. Okay, I was right.
Beginning in late January of 2011, over 500 people would come forward to say that they had seen none other than Troy Knight. Eyewitness accounts would range from every part of the continental United States, from New Jersey to Maine, even as far away as Seattle, Washington.
Holy shit.
For the next 2 years, it seems Troy Knight would be popping up everywhere. He is seemingly caught in a variety of surveillance footage and in just about every location imaginable, including street corners, movie theaters, subways, even airports. However, frustratingly, none of these reported sightings could ever be definitively confirmed.
Suddenly after that, there was an explosion of unconfirmed sightings of Troy Knight from all over the United States.
Oh, okay.
Everybody and their mother.
That answers my question. I was going to be like, you think people would be like, hey, aren't you the fucking guy that was missing? But it's just probably like saw at a glance. It was like, is that the fucking... Yeah, whatever. January 27, 2011, Albany, New York. What up, Troy? Where you going, bro? You know you're missing, right? February 2nd, Bowling Green, Kentucky. This dude is everywhere. AC, baby. March 8th, 2011. Troy's just walking out of the casino. He lost all of his money. He's like, fuck, god damn it, where am I gonna go? I have no hotel. I have no money. I'm fucking broke. Jesus. I like this. I'll be honest. I like this documentary a lot. I know it's like a fake documentary and shit, but the way this is all put together, really well done. Really well done. Faux show. Is he like in like a state of, is he like in like a trance or something? Did somebody fucking, it's not Datura. Oh my God. Shit. It's like this drug that's like you can put it in like powder form, and then if you like blow it in somebody's face, they become like a fucking zombie. Like they don't know what the fuck's going on. I wonder if Troy's just been on that for fucking 2 years? They said that he was like going around and shit. My dude's in Florida. He's going back to Johnny Rockets. Gotta get them burgers, bro. He's got a mask. September 1st, 2011. Florida. I almost expected his face just like pop up in the fucking screen. Be like, ah? Michigan? Jeez. Top tier security footage, ladies and gentlemen. Tell you what. How is he getting from all these places? How's he getting from one place to another? I need answers. Does he have a car? California! This motherfucker went all the way across the country. Oh, bus center. Okay, never mind. That answers that. I was gonna say, like, damn, dude. Ain't no way he's fucking walking. Hartford, Connecticut. Shit, dude, nobody could do that. Kidding me? What the fuck? What the hell was that? What location is that, bruh? That's freaky. I like it.
They gave me hope. They gave me hope because, you know,
fucking A, dude. It would give anybody hope. They know their siblings alive.
Time, I didn't really think that my brother was dead. Like, I didn't think he was dead. But at the same time, it's like, now it's like, yo, son's out there somewhere. It's like, you know, where you at? What are you doing? And if you are out there, you know, like, shit, send a text or a message, you know, something.
Right.
It appeared to be Troy Knight in this surveillance footage, but we could not conclusively verify that it was, in fact, Troy Knight.
I mean, you could see his face a few times, so...
And that's definitely my brother, you know, call it a gut feeling, but, you know, I think that's him.
From the footage, it would make it appear that Troy was alive at the time. Someone who appeared to be physically similar in stature, looking into the camera at various points. But you had to remember, some of that footage was also not the most clear footage.
That one especially, what the fuck is that?
Just as abruptly and mysteriously as they had begun. Yet if all of that wasn't enough, in the fall of 2014, almost 5 years after the trio had gone missing, a mysterious email is received by Morgan Roberts, the current girlfriend of Troy's brother Derek. At first, Morgan noted that she almost did notice the message as it was filtered by her spam folder. But going through the folder, she spotted an email under a strange header, namely, quote, "To Dawn, to you, I am Night." The message contained in the email was a typical spam advertisement for Viagra. However, at the very end was a short video clip attached. When she clicked onto the video, she was shocked to see Troy riding in the passenger seat of a car.
Yes, time later, an email was received that led us again to believe that it potentially was Troy, or that he had been following this investigation, but we could not conclusively ascertain whether or not it was in fact him. He did not give us any indication of his whereabouts.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. When I saw it, I said like that's my brother, but I don't know who that is, you know. Like, call it intuition, call it family ties, you know, whatever, but something's definitely wrong with that video. He looks like he's in trouble.
I was saying, it looks like he's in a trance.
It was in the eyes, you know, it's like, and I've had that look before. It's the look of somebody that's getting desperate.
The message at first glance seems to make very little sense, as Troy only utters one phrase, quote, "Make your way to dawn," after which he just blankly stares at the camera for a few more moments, at which the video then cuts out.
Show the video.
It should be noted that the same phrase, "to dawn," was found in one of the rooms of the cabin, written on a mirror. Now, what significance this phrase has on the investigation, if any, has yet to be deciphered. In the video, Troy doesn't address any particular person and doesn't provide any information as to his whereabouts or to whom he may be traveling with.
I mean, I don't know what he could have been running from. Like I said, he's a straight-laced dude. Yeah, I don't know what could have happened in his life that would have triggered him to go on the run, so...
2 more years would pass without any further developments in the case. Then one day in late October of 2016, a mysterious individual walks into a small police precinct near San Diego, California. The man is tall, thin, and sports a long, grizzled beard.
Joe Grizzly?
Thinking that the man might be homeless, the officer at the reception's desk asks the man
that
if
Omar?
he's all right, to which the man responds by handing her a small, folded-over note. The officer opens the note, which reads, quote, Damien knows why JJ is dead.
Yo,
Not knowing what to make of this, the officer instructs the man to take a seat while she retrieves some other detectives.
That had to have been Omar,
When
bro.
she returns a few seconds later, the man has vanished.
Outskis.
Police have combed through the surveillance footage at the station where the incident took place, and while they admit that the individual fits the rough description of Damien, a positive identification was all but impossible.
Oh. Maybe it was. Oh, yep. That looks like Damien. Yeah. Never mind.
Suddenly, halfway across the country,
why did he write it in third person instead of just saying I?
That someone,
I don't know.
a man who, according to surveillance footage, appeared to be Damien De La Vega, walks in, hands the reception officer a note saying, Damien knows why JJ is dead.
John Jane.
Receptions officer walks to the back.
Telling you, man, it's a
fellow
cult.
Officers, and by the time they reappear, the man was gone.
The man was estimated to be between 6 and 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed about 155 to 160 pounds, noting
6'2".
a significant loss of weight if this was indeed Damien De La Vega. At the time Damien disappeared, he was known to weigh about 185 pounds, and to further obstruct any kind of positive ID, the man's gaunt and unkempt appearance, coupled with the grainy nature of the footage, adds further difficulty in having certainty in his identity.
Based upon what the officers saw and based upon the evidence that was available to them at that time, they seem to believe that it possibly could have been Mr. De La Vega. There was some evidence that does point to the fact that it could have been him. The name Damien, for starters. Also, JJ could have been John Jane. However, there were facts of this case that were also easily accessible, which leads us to possibly believe that this might have been a hoax as well. Anybody could have walked in and pretended to be Mr. De La Vega.
Next, the police examined the note that was handed in. Investigators noticed one glaring inconsistency, namely being in the way the name Damien was spelled. The real Damien De La Vega used an A rather than an E seen in the message.
Oh, shit.
The note was subjected to handwriting analysis and was compared to
I kind of thought that, but I didn't want to say anything. I'm like, this looks a little...
The comparison came out as inconclusive. The note was dusted and ran through forensic tests. However, neither fingerprints nor DNA could be found.
Oh, what the
Lead detectives will not comment further on the incident, but have made statements that they believe this event at the small station to be a hoax, although they are not ready to dismiss it entirely. It seemed that this was just another near miss in this already overcomplicated case.
On one hand, the evidence does seem to point to the fact that this very well could have been Mr. De La Vega. But then at the other side, because we've had so many curveballs thrown at us in this case, it very well could have been a prank.
Of course, what unsolved case would be complete without its plethora of wild and imaginative theories? Now, everything from accidental drowning to alien abduction has been proposed in this investigation, and most of these theories originating from the far-out fringes of the internet. For many years following the disappearance, the suspicion was directed at the Pruitts, the family that first reported the strange scene to Warrensdale police.
Oh, yeah, when they showed up. Yeah,
now, they have vehemently denied any involvement and maintained that they have been extensively questioned by authorities.
The media has definitely had it out for me and my parents. They have been relentless. According to them, we're fucking public enemy number one.
Y'all know what
now,
the
it seems
fuck
they have
happened.
Been cleared by detectives, as all three have airtight alibis regarding their whereabouts in the 9 days in question when the three men were thought to have disappeared. But as many in the family will tell you, that even unto this day, the case hangs over their heads as a very dark cloud.
I mean, I feel terrible.
It's gotta suck,
about
man.
how Damien
Just
Omar
living your
chose
life,
to
but then
perish.
everybody's like, oh, you know
What
it, you
everyone
know
has to
something.
understand
You did it.
That my family, we're just trying to enjoy our vacation.
Yeah.
We just happened to be the first ones on the scene. My family had nothing to do with this.
I believe it.
However, we will examine one prominent hypothesis that has been thoroughly embraced by some investigators.
Hypotenuse?
This is what they believe happened.
Wait, what the hell?
They contend that sometime between January 26th and January 4th, a confused and disoriented John Jane somehow stumbled out of the woods and onto the lakefront property. He either startled the three men or tried to make his way into the cabin through some other means, possibly looking for drugs or money. A fight breaks out between himself and the trio, and either by accident or by design, Jane is killed in the altercation. In a panic, they bury the man in the backyard, and in an attempt to escape prosecution, decide to flee and start whole new lives.
Oh, jeez.
Now, needless to say, the theory is
What
riddled
the
with
fuck?
problems. Critics are quick to point out that
That's kind of far-fetched. Hey, we did this. We did some bad thing. Let's go fucking change our identities. Huh? I'm sure people have done it.
It is highly unlikely that John Jane would have just stumbled onto the cabin without explanation after being missing himself for some 11 years at that point and over 1,000 miles away from Arkansas, again, without explanation. Critics also point to the fact that if the three men had decided to take off and disappear, why on earth they would leave absolutely everything behind, including all their money, transportation, and clothing, to just bound off into the surrounding woods without a plan or destination in mind.
It's like SpongeBob when he goes to join the jellyfish.
I mean, whether or not the guys had something to do with his death, I don't know.
Many detractors of this theory state that the hypothesis is ludicrous at best and defies any kind of logic. Furthermore, the thought that Jane was killed by the trio doesn't seem to be supported by the coroner's findings either, as the autopsy report clearly states that John had only been dead a few days at best, while the three men had been missing for a little over a year at the time of the body's discovery.
Oh, I thought he was
from what
dead
I understand,
for
the guys went missing a year before John's body was found. The timelines just they don't match up.
Yeah.
I mean, see, I really don't listen to any of that bullshit. You know, I learned a long time ago that people are always going to try to jump in or put a little spin on something or put a little Hollywood twist in it. And you know, honestly, at the end of the day, none of these dudes knew my brother. They don't know what happened to my brother, and it doesn't bring me any closer to finding out where he is or what's going on with him.
This thing just hangs over my head like a dark cloud. You have one of the most infamous missing persons case in U.S. history, and I just happen to be a very unwilling participant. It's been a nightmare.
I couldn't even imagine, man.
What is the truth behind this most perplexing of cases? As seen, several theories have been put forward, but nothing even close to a definitive answer has ever come to light.
Fuck.
And so over a decade later, police are still scratching their heads. What happened to these three men, and what could have caused them to seemingly vanish off the face of the earth?
How did John die?
What happened to John Andrew Jane, and what led to his mysterious and untimely demise at the lakefront property? Did he somehow know the fate of Troy, Omar, and Damien, and was somehow
what's up with
silenced just
fucking
to keep
Troy?
him quiet? Years later, and all who have been affected by this tragedy are still clamoring for some kind of an explanation.
Those are cool houses. Cabins, whatever you want to call them.
I would just tell my brother, like, nigga, come home. Like, enough is enough. Like, you know, it's going on long enough. You know, you got a brother that cares for you. If you are in trouble, you know, just reach out for help. I got you. But, you know, enough is enough. And if you don't want to come home, then just still reach out. You know, something. Just something.
Just give me a fuck. Just
Personally,
give me a little fucking. Give me a bite. Give me something, dude.
This case is the
Fucking hell.
first thing that I think about when I wake up in the morning, and the last thing that I think about before I go to bed at night. It actually consumes me.
Yeah. I still think that he out there. He might be out there, and anything can be happening. Like, anything could happen. Like, they could have him trapped somewhere in the closet, somewhere in the basement, somewhere handcuffed somewhere, treat him little by little. So anything could have happened, but like I would try him to keep his head up. You know what I'm saying? There's people out here still searches on for you. You know what I'm saying? And we still here for you. You know what I'm saying? And that everything that's in the dark gonna come to the light eventually. So
I have no family because of this.
Jeez.
I'm estranged from my siblings. My dad died 2 or 3 years after John disappeared. I don't talk to my mom. Shit's fucked up. I mean, it wasn't sunshines and rainbows before this, but it definitely made it a lot worse.
If I were to say anything to Damien, Elmore, and Troy, guys, if you, any of you, are watching this, come home.
Yeah, get your punk asses back here, you fucking pricks.
Including myself. Now, obviously, I don't know you guys personally, but being involved in this case,
I'm tired of
you
it.
guys have become a part of me. I pray for you guys' safe return.
She just wants them home so people stop fucking with her and her family.
Until there are cold hard facts about the situation, you never know what's happening. He might still be out there. He may come home. Just always be ready for him to come home, and it'll be all right.
I don't think nobody want to disappear. I don't think I can't see myself wanting to disappear, like, unless I've been through some real bullshit. Like, I don't think so. That's not him. That's why it's so strange. And that's why we're here where we are today.
I just want answers more than anything else. I want to know why my brother was taken from me. I want a sense of peace from all of this.
When I read this case,
No, what the fuck just happened?
I'm reminded that the names on the page are not just statistics. These are human beings.
They're actual fucking human beings, bro.
With families and friends that love and care about them. They are entitled to closure. They are entitled to know exactly what happened. And I'm not going to stop trying.
Hell yeah.
If you know anything,
Oh my
get
god.
off your sorry ass and say something. There are a lot of hurting out people out there, including me, my family, relatives, and friends of those 3 missing men. Somebody's got to know something.
Dude, she looks like she can shoot bullets out of her eyes. Wait, is that it?
To quote Robert McFarlane, the unknown is so inflammatory to the imagination because it is an imaginatively malleable space. A projection screen onto which a culture or an individual can throw their fears and their aspirations. And much like Echo's cave, the unknown will answer back with whatever you shouted it.
Oh. Profound. What is that? Keep hearing clicks. That's it? What? Damn. Not that, like, oh, it's finally over. Like, I'm actually kind of mad. It's like, really? That's it? What the? Oh, okay. Oh, Damien De La Vega. Okay, here we go. 6'1", 185 missing since December 26, 2009. Case status unsolved. Nice jacket, bro. Where'd you get that shit? I mean, I guess I can give my little review right now since it's doing all this. Okay, Omar, yeah. Honestly, I thought this was great. This was really well done. You know, for the budget that they had, you know, all that, whatever. The actors were good. There were a few times when they were doing the interviews, it kind of seemed like people were like reading off a script. But, you know, whatever. Everybody did a great job nonetheless. The narration was good. The pacing of the story was good. The story in itself was fucking good too. Like, even though it's fake, like there were times where like my brain was like, yeah, this is real, and like I was getting like super fucking into it and shit. Like I like this a lot. Troy, the man, the myth, the legend. I do like too a little thing, and that was all like East Coast, like fucking New Jersey and like Philly and shit. I like that a lot. John Jane, 5'10", 220. November 19th. And also, yeah, it's like, this seems like something that could actually happen. Like the whole disappearance of like the three friends and then like a random body being found. I like the way they kind of blended the both together. It didn't seem like it was just one and then the other. Like it actually fit together really good. Shortly after our production crew had wrapped up filming for this program, Detective Donovan contacted us with a recent development. Oh shit, what the fuck? February 16, 2021, he received a mysterious voice message at his office. The validity of this message is still being investigated. Here's the... Wait, what the hell?
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Also, the editing is really good, too.
Hello, I hope I'm reaching Detective Mitch Donovan. How are you, Detective? I hope you get this message.
Who the fuck are you?
I heard you've been looking for me. My name is Damien.
Yo, what the fuck? He's alive?
And I think I might have some answers for you.
Damien, get your ass in here right now, you fucking son of a bitch.
I'll be in touch.
What the fuck? Where's Omar and Troy? What have you done? What have you done with John Jane? The mysterious caller has yet to reach out again. Damn it! Fuck. Damn, that was fucking cool. Damn. Okay, so this is the actual... this is the end. Okay, yeah, just the credits at this point. But yeah, this was really fucking well done, man. And honestly, it seemed like y'all probably had a really fun time doing this, making this and shit. Oh, man, I like this a lot. Definitely going to watch it again. I give it about 8.5 out of 10. 8.59 out of 10. Definitely recommend this shit. Check it out. Subscribe to the channel, Penalty of Death Productions. They also cover... the guy that sent me this, he said they covered, I think it was like Lonely Girl 115, some other ARG or analog horror type deal. I don't know what that is, but I'll check it out on my own time. Or maybe y'all want me to watch it. Who the fuck knows? But but yeah, I had a blast watching this. It went by, I felt like it went by so fast, man. Shit. But everybody, great fucking job. Fantastic. Loved it. Definitely gonna tell everyone about it. Y'all need to watch that shit. Link in the description, But thank you all so much for watching, and thank you so much for sending me this, dude. I kind of forgot your name for a second. I don't know why. I'm sorry, but yeah, thank you so much for sending this to me, man. If anybody else has anything they want to send me and to react to, whatever, email will be in the description as well. You should definitely send me some shit, because to be honest, I'm out of ideas. Just kidding. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I really hope you check this out. Check out this channel, all the other stuff that they got going on. Yeah. And as always, we'll see you, all of you, in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends to show them how funny or stupid it is, depending on how you feel. But we'll see you, all of you, in the next one. Later.